Well, I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon. That was my goal. Certainly those are the people that influenced me in medical school. And then, for reasons that were unclear to me at the time, everyone had to do an obstetric rotation. So I did my rotation and was involved in my first delivery, and that was it. I was sold from that point on. You know, the phenomenal thing about women and about pregnant women in particular is their willingness to do whatever it takes and to follow, you know, whatever the best advice is at that time. Probably the most recent thing that's made a huge difference is the March of Dimes push to delay delivery to 39 weeks. So many babies back in the last decade and a half were delivered early because people were afraid to continue the pregnancy. You know, now we've got a number of interventions. We've got a number of ways to assess the baby, to look at the baby inside, to make sure the baby is safe inside. Well, I think the primary goal is to eliminate the need for neonatal nurseries. I think the primary goal is to keep them from getting there in the first place. Certainly, as I mentioned before, ultrasound is very important in terms of allowing you to keep that baby in the uterus long enough that it doesn't have to go to a special nursery. Lord knows that special nurseries and neonatologists have made such a huge difference. Just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But ultimately, I think they all would agree that the goal would be not to have that necessity. Fortunately, I've always been in institutions that have phenomenal nurseries, just phenomenal neonatologists. And they just make it a joy just being in the same room and watching the progress. And even if something bad is going to happen, the preparation and clearly knowing and the families knowing that everything possible is being done certainly makes a difference, even under bad circumstances. I think the March of Dimes is you know, one of the most and more supportable organizations that exist because you can see the progress that's been made. You can see historically in terms of polio. You can see historically they are a successful organization. I think that the March of Dimes has been particularly important in terms of supporting research. That's made a difference on the perinatal side. They've made a very clear difference on the neonatal side in terms of surfactant, in terms of early interventions. The March of Dimes, both historically and going back 75 years, has always had an interest in you know, primary issues, health issues. And I'm just happy and pleased that the March of Dimes is interested in my particular health issue. And I mean, if we're going to stop prematurity, we have to start working at that prevention before the pregnancy even occurs. And I'm hoping that again, a pilot project to the March of Dimes emphasis on prevention will allow us to perhaps not prevent the current preterm birth, but perhaps prevent the next one. You know, I had a patient who sent me a picture the other day. This is a patient who at 20 weeks of pregnancy ruptured membranes. And, you know, wanted to be conservative and so forth, so we stretched it out and finally delivered at 27 weeks. And rough course, neonatal nursery, infection, the routine things. And he is now 17, graduating from high school, honors student. She sent me a card and a note the other day. You know, the March of Dimes is such good people. They're such good people. You know, they're like moms. You know, good people.